What's good, everybody? Welcome into a snackable episode of Behind the Turnbuckle with me and Big Tommy C. Every single Friday, we drop several different things here at the brand. Thank you to all of you who tuned into the last word on Monday. We have another show coming, but right now, Tommy, we try to be as positive as we possibly can. But with everything going on with AEW the last week to 10 days, I got to give you a what are they doing? And I've got a few examples. First of all, how are you, sir?
Good, good. And when you say snackable, man, that I love that. Man, I was thinking of a Twinkie, but I guess you mean something else.
We understand people have lives and we never go longer than 10 or 15 minutes. But Tommy, there's been a lot made of AEW and the declining ratings and the declining attendance. And I've been trying to come up with some really positive ways because we don't want them to go out of business. But Tommy, what I saw in the last week, and I can't even imagine Vince allowing this when he was in charge of WWE or any of the big stars that you and I worked with. And what I'm talking about is this. Um, the Costco guys have been everywhere. They were on the pay-per-view. They were at the press conference in Texas where only like 80 people showed up to announce that. And then Sunday night, Boca Raton or Boca Raton, however you want to say it, championship wrestling. It looked like it was in a high school gym, maybe 1,000 people. And who's in the main event? MJF and QT Marshall. I kid you not. And then the Costco guys are from Boca Raton. So they show up. He lays out QT, who he wrestled at the pay per view. And then he goes face to face with AEW's biggest star in MJF. Tommy, two things crossed my mind. How far has MJF fallen? And B, how does Tony Khan allow these guys to do any and every indie show that they want? It's bananas. Your take.
Tell me you're kidding. It was
I'm not kidding.
MJF
Yes,
in a
MJF.
high school gym. So tell me, MJF, what is the upside of you showing up there? What is the upside for AEW showing up in this little high school arena in Boca Raton, Florida, where there's about 800 people? Tell me the upside of all this. Tell me that you're going to get more viewers than ever watching you. Instead of using social media for something different, and you got your number one guy, MJF, going against the Costco guys. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing is right, coach. It makes no sense at all. And I'm surprised MJF even went along with this because he's so protective of his career, of being number one, being the top guy, being the guy that's going to drive the bus. That's not driving the bus, coach. That's crashing the bus. That is just plain out ridiculous. How about putting him on TV every week where people can watch him? Come on.
I don't count anybody else's money. I never will. He has bragged for years. And I, even on this show, I predicted that his new deal that he was making north of $5 million a year. Indie show like that, Tommy, max 3 to 5 grand.
Oh, yeah.
So why would you risk injury? And why would you look below yourself, below yourself on the level of star that you are to go and do that? And I know what Tony Khan's doing. He's saying, listen, I'm a friend of everybody. All the indies love me. Let's feed into it. WWE is doing their own way of the WWID program stars, but they're not sending their big stars to do indie shows. Are you kidding me? So to me, Tony Khan is beyond out of touch at this point. And Tommy, part of the reason WCW went out of business is that the expenses far outweighed what was coming in. And a lot of the WWE revenue, when I was came from house shows. We would do 3 a week plus Raw, 3 a week plus SmackDown. So 6 live events, 8 total a week. That's a lot of revenue coming in.
Mhm.
And he's allowing the guys, you don't need to do house shows. You don't need to promote AEW, but you can go do an indie show. And Tommy, it gets worse because at a GCW show this weekend, Matt Cardona is there, whoever he's wrestling. I think it was Effie, the guy they're pissed at for doing the interview. Tommy, guess who shows up at GCW after Tony that Ricky
Who?
Starks couldn't participate?
Who?
Chris Jericho,
What?
Y2J. Shows up, baseball hoodie, mask over his face, and he attacked Matt Cardona with a baseball bat and whoever the guy was that he was wrestling to promote their match coming up at Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. So Jericho can do GCW, but Ricky Starks, who has been on the bench for months, who has an option for another year, Tommy, and Tony Khan reportedly is so petty that he's picked up the option and basically is going to make Ricky Starks get paid and sit at home. But Jericho can go do GCW. How petty is that?
That's petty, and so this advances the storyline that the match they're gonna have at the Hammerstein Ballroom of Jericho coming in on this, indie show. I mean,
Yes.
come on, guys, what are you doing? You have TV. That's what TV is for, coach. That's how you advance storylines. You're on every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock prime time. You wanna advance a storyline? Do it there. Bring Matt Cardona out and come in on Jericho. You're doing it at some indie show in Lipshit, Illinois, or wherever it is, and you're thinking you're advancing the storyline there. And by the way, Jericho's a smart guy. I don't even get why he would agree to do this. I don't get it whatsoever. Oh, you're going to sell your merchandise there? What, 10 people are going to buy your shirt? That is not
Well,
advancing the storyline. That's an embarrassment. It's an
I will say
embarrassment.
this. I will say this that at a recent show where Ricky Starks participated, they were at this big mall and there was probably 4 to 5,000 people there. I mean, they had a lot of people there. So my issue was, and I think the game. Okay, my issue was that he could probably make more from GCW than MJF is making from Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. But we all know Jericho has always loved every last dime that he could possibly make, no matter how much. But he's probably, I would argue that he's
Oh,
probably the highest paid talent at AEW right now. He helped start the thing. He's the only one of the OGs. The Young Bucks are on a break. They're not. Rhodes is gone. Kenny Omega is wrestling in New Japan. So of those executives, Jericho is the only one that's still there.
oh my God,
And
coach.
they were getting millions and millions at the start.
How could you be on break, by the way, when you only do TVs? Somebody explain that to me. It's not like when you were on the
That's a
road
great point.
24 days a week or, 24 days a month like our guys, WWE guys used to be. You do TVs and that is it.
We
And you're
wrestled 800 miles, Tommy. A week we would drive.
I know, I know.
And
So you
to be
don't wanna
honest,
advance
Tommy,
the storyline on TV where everybody's watching. You rather do it in an independent show.
it's a
Who's
great that's a great point. And the issue is also why does Tony Khan think that this is a really good thing? Why does he think that this is going to help the company that can't draw more than 3,000 people and looks like an indie show half the time? That's what it looks like half the time. And
you brought
I
up
don't even want to be negative. I don't
yeah.
want to be like this. I would love to say, man, I love every but the indie scene right now, is it popular? Yes. Is it red hot? No, it's not. And so all of these and only AEW guys, Tommy. You don't see other than Joe Henry. You don't see WWE guys being allowed to go out there and do this. It's crazy, man.
You
Crazy.
talk about petty, Tony Khan. I saw this thing on X where a little girl, he's going through the crowd after the show's over, the TV was over, whatever, and the little girl says she had a sign, poster, said, "I love Ricky Starks," and she wanted him to sign it, right?
Mhm.
He wouldn't sign it. He turned it over and signed the back of it because he didn't want his name there, Ricky Starks. And you brought up petty, and I just thought of that. That's friggin' petty. You're an owner of
They
a company.
they got on him because he showed up at SummerSlam to what? He's good friends with Jade, and he's also good friends with Cody Rhodes. And he showed up to support, and he feels like I saw him doing Van Vliet's podcast. And I think in a way he feels like he's being punished for supporting his friends who left AEW and gone to WWE. Again, petty from the
Yeah.
word go. One other quick storyline, Tom, before we get the hell out of here. We only go 10 or 15 minutes. And one of the few over characters And I don't know that I've ever seen in the WWE during my time a character that's completely over decide, when I say over to the wrestling fan, I mean popular. And then go, you know what? I'm going to completely change right in the middle of the hardest time in the business for our company. And that's Toni Storm. She was over. And now apparently her new character, Tommy, is going to be one that has amnesia, that doesn't remember who she is, no accent whatsoever, and basically is just happy to be around stars like Mercedes Monet and all these. And I don't understand the reason of changing your character right now.
It's shooting yourself in the foot. By the way, that was one of the best gimmicks they had was Tony Storm. And folks, if you don't know what it is, the Marilyn Monroe, black and white. I mean, they put some money in this. She thought of that. She had the character down, the accent down, and everything. And then all of a sudden, it goes away, right? I'm retiring, which we all know was a work anyway. Comes back as Tony Storm, and now she has amnesia. I saw that. Ridiculous. You want to talk about career suicide? That's career suicide. When you have a gimmick going like that, that I was enjoying, and then you just pull it away like that, it's almost similar to like Goldust. Remember how great Goldust was? Well, they kept that going. Why couldn't they keep Tony Storm being this Marilyn Monroe type or whatever the situation is with the butler and everything? Really good stuff. And now you come back as Tony Storm and you have amnesia.
It's more than just a changing of your character. There is merchandise involved. There is advertising for shows involved. There's a lot that goes into it. And if you're affecting your money, you need to think twice about it. But it's kind of, par for the brand. It's kind of on brand for AEW. And last one, Tommy, she mentioned Mercedes Monet. I forgot to mention when we were talking about the indie shows. Did you see the video? Mercedes was at an indie show and she was dancing
Dancing.
and like almost twerking with
Yes.
another champion from. And you're talking about being the boss. You're talking about being the biggest star in the world. Stars like that don't go to shows like that. And it's almost like they're like, man, I can make $500. Let me go put that in my back pocket. And especially for her, private jets. I'm acting and all this big stuff, but I'll go to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Oh my god.
Could
Oh
you
my god.
imagine, Coach, back in the day, Vince going to Stone Cold Rock saying, "Hey, I need you to go to Lipshit, Pennsylvania. There's a house, there's an indie show there, and I want you to create something there." What? What?
They at their peak, just so people understand the finances, there's a talent pool, and we would routinely have house shows that were north of $500,000. So the talent was making 150 to 200 of that. So main event guys were making 20 to $50,000 a night. You're going to ask them to go make five and sell pictures and autographs at a folding table in the foyer before the game? Rock's not doing that. Stone Cold ain't doing it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't even get it. I don't
Oh,
even get it. I don't even get it.
that's
All
why
right,
they
that's
are
gonna
where
do
they
it.
are.
That's exactly right. He is Big Tommy C, intern Dan, producer man. I'm the coach. We drop content every single Friday here on our page. Subscribe, share, like. We're only getting bigger. We thank you to all of you. Happy holidays. We'll still be over the holidays. Follow us on social media. We just don't know when or how much. That'll do it for now. We are. There's only one behind the turnbuckle. Take care.